Welcome back to my channel. I am Jason Pye. And this is Ask a Contractor. It's kind of exciting doing this series. I've done episode 1 and episode 2. If you haven't seen that yet, please go ahead and check out the links up here to both of those episodes and go check them out. It's really important you kind of watch it in order just to kind of get the basis of where we're starting from and where we're going. The questions do sort of compile onto each other. So it is kind of just, and as I'm getting deeper and deeper into it, it gets more and more exciting, just kind of talking more about everything and kind of leading you back to what I'm talking about before. Today, we have 3 new questions that we're going to be talking about. Uh, like I said in the beginning of the series, these are questions you want to be asking your contractor. This isn't, the very simple, oh, how much is this going to be? And, when's the work going to get done? That's part of it. But these are in-depth questions about what we really need to know when we are getting into a contract with somebody. These are really important things to have a solid understanding about before you get into that project. The 3 questions we're going to hit today are: is there a dedicated team working on the project? Who is my main point of contact throughout the project? And what do they do at the end of every job? We're going to get into a little bit of detail about all of these, but let's start with the first question, which is there a dedicated team on my project? It is obvious that most construction companies that are out there working, they are not just working on your job. If they were just working on your job, they'd be charging you a fortune. And since they're not working on just your job, they can charge less and do more volume and make the same amount of money. So the question becomes, who's working on my job? Like, which team is dedicated to this? Most construction companies have a few in-house laborers and then sub everything out. Now, if you hear a contractor say, I've got a full team and everything's in-house and, blah, 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 blah about all that stuff, I'm not saying that that's not a possibility. It is possible. I guess we'll get into it, but most likely they're lying. It's very hard to have 80 employees. Okay, it's very hard to have a company of that structure, that size, doing your kitchen and bathroom remodel. Okay, sorry, it's just not a functional business model. There might be people out there that do not have a functional business model. They're in the 2 to 5 year span of their business, and you're either going to have a successful project because of it, because you're in the beginning of their experiment, or you're going to have a horrible experience with it because you're at the end of their experience. But either way, let's talk about the mass majority of contractors out there. They're either working on the project themselves or they have a few key employees that are on the site doing things, and then the things that they can't execute, they're hiring some contractors for. For the sake of consistency, it's essential to verify that you can count on the same workers until the completion of the job. You know, having the same guy there or a team of same guys there throughout the project. So, you can count on someone in particular that you can go to and communicate with, that at least if the contractor isn't there, you can communicate with somebody and that message will get out throughout the company. Um, it's important that if you know that they are going to be hiring subcontractors, you don't necessarily need to know who those subcontractors are, but you do want to know what their qualifications are, and what they're covering, what they're not covering, and of course that they're going to be properly insured. So let's get into kind of why you'd be afraid of hiring a contractor who says, I do everything in house. The reason is because not everybody can do everything. Okay. If you have a tradesman in your company, and I'm speaking from personal experience, by the way, so this is 100% my reality. It may not be everybody's, and I'm comfortable with saying that, hey, I'm wrong here, but this is my reality. This is how I view life. And you're here to listen to how I view it. So I have a team of about 5 guys, and we do hardscape and landscape projects, and we do full exterior renovation type work with them. Obviously, I have a JJP construction company, which does general construction. I have Shelter, which is my design and architectural. And then I have Go Landscapers, which does these exterior renovation projects. And these guys basically they're doing these projects, they're doing my projects, they're doing everything. Now you might start to wonder, well, Jason, you have guys and they're doing all this stuff. They've been slowly trained, right? They only started out knowing landscaping. It wasn't until I trained them how to do hardscape that they can do hardscape. And then they can do block work. And then they can learn how to do fencing. And then they can learn how to do, so they slowly learn and learn and learn. And it's a company that's been around for a while now. So there's been years of growth. And my employees are interested in the growth. They want to learn, they want to grow, they want to do more. So they're excited about that. But it's very rare, and I mean this sincerely, to have a company of that structure, that infrastructure. Now, again, 5 guys, not that many people. So it's an insular company, right? Like we know each other, we grow up with each other, we're growing with each other. Everything is kind of in, with each other. Whereas when you're dealing with a company that has 10, 12, 20, 30 guys, there's constant circulation. There's constant people coming in and out of it. And um, to say that there's a quality control would be very, very difficult because it's constant training, right? You're constantly training that person. You're constantly training new employees. You're constantly trying to stay on top of it. Plus, you know, people think that they can do a lot, but then when they get to it, they're not really that skilled at it. They like, if you ask me, I can weld. Like, you don't want me to be welding a piece of metal. You don't. I might hook it up to the wrong thing. I might forget to bond it. Uh, when I'm actually doing the weld, like my hand's gonna jump. It's not steady. It's not straight. Like I can't polish it that well after. I'm not like that skilled with. I'm not the best at it. You know, like hire a welder. Hire a welder to come and weld that. If I've got a guy who, oh yeah, this guy can do a bathroom remodel. I actually had an employee who worked for me who was this multi-skilled guy, and he was probably my best employee. He was just happy every single day, loved coming to work, and was super skilled at like doing things. Like if I needed him to do electrical, no problem. Plumbing, no problem. Tile, shower, whatever. He would do everything. But here's the problem. Was he up to the quality and standards that I wanted to perform at? Absolutely not. He was really good at some things and attempted everything else with his full heart. He wanted to just do it. He wanted to get it done for me. But that doesn't mean it's going to be good. It means it's going to be to the best of his ability. And for some projects, that's okay. There's a reason there's quality levels. There's a reason there's execution levels when you're hiring a contractor. You don't want to get into a situation where you think you're getting one, but you're really getting the other. And I hope that helps clarify, really the type of team that you're looking for when you're going into a project. So let's talk about question number two. Do you really want to know who your main point of contact is going to be throughout the project? Okay. So this is different from the team that's working on your house because this is going to be the team leader or the project manager or the foreman on your job. You want to know who you can go to for everything that you may need along the way. That could be the contractor themselves. That's totally fine also, but it needs to be someone that is a point of contact for you, to have that designated person and to find out their available times and their preferred method of communication just to be safe. This is the person that is going to be the person that kind of holds your hand throughout the whole process. When you're upset about something, calling them, texting them, emailing them, however they want to be communicated with, that sort of nature. This is different than your team because most likely you might feel comfortable with someone who's on the team being at your home all the time, but likelihood is that no matter what you communicate to them, it's never going to be something that gets executed because of them. You need to tell somebody who controls that team, and that's the person I'm talking about. So that could either be your project manager, your foreman, team leader, or the contractor themselves. It doesn't matter. All you need to do is know who that person will be for you and be ready to communicate with them, create a relationship with them. That's really important. Now this one is the third question. It is a trick question, and that's why I kind of left it for the end here. But I think it's a really fun question to ask because it's really insightful as to how the contractor actually works. Now, the question is this: what do you do at the end of each day? Now, keep in mind, most of the time when you're doing a renovation project, any sort of renovation, kitchen, bathroom, flooring, painting, whatever it is, 9 out of 10 times, the people can't afford to move. Like, it would be amazing to just say, hey, get out of the house, go find an Airbnb, go to a hotel. I need the house cleared for 2 weeks. It's just not feasible. And if it is feasible, it's a large cost associated to the project, meaning, if they only have X amount of dollars to spend on the project. Now they need to remove a chunk of that just to afford another place. So 9 out of 10 times, people are living in the home during the renovation. Now, this is a tough thing to deal with, but when you're dealing with it, from both, by the way, the homeowner side and the contractor side, it's both very tough. Um, it's an experience that you have to really be cognizant of from both sides. You want to make sure that the contractor has experience in this, and you want to make sure that the homeowner is going to know what to expect. As the homeowner, you want to be asking this question and looking for the answer that's right for you. Okay. Do you want it clean every single day? Do you want it like pick up all the trash? Do you want flooring protection? Do you want, you know, stuff in a certain area? Do you want a trash pile? Do you want material location? Where is everything going to go at the end of the day? Where do they leave their tools? How is everything kind of kept when they're not there? Is it locked? Is there a lockbox on site? If you're not living in the house, how do they deal with it? Right? Do they? Is there security? Is there a locking mechanism that locks the house? Do they go through and check the alarm while you're there? What do they do for you? And how do they handle that? So at the end of the day, that's the answer you're looking for. It's a trick question because everyone doesn't know how to answer that question. And I'll give you a personal story here just to tell you how I deal with it. Um, but it is one of those questions that are kind of a left field turn where you're not sure what the perspective is of the home buyer of what they want. And I think that if you can find the person that answers it the right way for you, you're going to have a very, very good experience. At least you'll be happy at it as long as they keep their word and do what they said they're going to do. But my experience with it is I actually have I come from a new construction background, so I don't have the experience necessarily of dealing with people living in the home. I have done projects where people are living in the home, and it's not as easy. It's definitely not as fun. It's a much more difficult ride. But I think that if you communicate that, if you like, in my experience, when I've told people that, they've actually had scenarios where they're like, yeah, okay, cool, that's no problem, like we'll just not be there. So I've been really lucky to have those experiences where I'm the reverse, by the way. I have to be honest about that. I don't think people get as lucky as that, but I think in my experience, people say, "Yeah, okay, we just won't move in till then," or "We want to know so we can plan our move," or "Oh, okay, can you do it while we're on vacation, anyways?" You know, these things come up, and I just get really lucky about how the timing works out. And either it's just the luck of the draw, or it's just timing. I don't know, but my rule of thumb is usually, hey, I'd rather you not be living there because I know for me, I'm dealing with a new construction schedule where, we're in production mode, and to be cleaning the house every minute and dealing with dust in the air all the time. like I want to come in at the end of the project and clean. I want to go through stages of trash cleanup. I'm not dealing with everything right away every single day at the end of the day. It's a beautiful way to work, and I love contractors that do it. It doesn't mean it can always be done. So it's a very different approach to how to build. So I'm usually pretty honest about that. And then I get their response of, okay, well, this is how we want to work. And then I can either say, okay, well, I can accomplish that, or I can't accomplish that. I cannot accomplish that. So you get the tail end of both sides. I really hope these questions helped you. I really hope that you can find the contractor you're looking for. If you're looking for someone in Los Angeles, don't be afraid to reach out to me, and I will see you on the next video.